Hello and welcome back. We've got the great Southern L1 there, available 1972, model R350. We've seen it in a video quite recently, but we're just going to have a bit of a run round with that and then look at some footage I shot at the Train Collector Society show last weekend on the 11th of September. I was really pleased to meet Mr Snooze, and we had a good chat and a wander around, and I think we both came away with some items. I'll leave a link to his channel so you can check that out. He has some great stuff. But after we've had a look at the footage, I think we'll have a look at this brilliant diesel rail car in blue, also made for a very short period of time in the early 70s, although the date escapes me at the moment. And this particular one comes from a set. If you have a look in the insert picture in the corner there, it's RS603. I think that was only available in 1970. Again, I'll leave a link to an earlier video if you want to have a close look at the model and the set, the contents of the set. But I think if we grab the controller, and we'll see if we can get this L1 and this lovely rake of ex-Caledonians on the way around the railway. I've got quite an interesting route set, so let's see if we can watch it come out of the station. And one of the items I did pick up was one of the more modern footbridges. But I'll get that in next week's video. We'll have a look at the items I bought next week. I do have one of the more modern footbridges, but since I've put this layout down, I have to admit I haven't been able to find it, and I did come across one last Saturday, so we'll get that constructed and on the layout. Let's give this a little power now, so let's see how we do. We're going to crawl out of the station. Looking good coming through the points there. I think we'll just leave the camera quite wide. So it's a bit of a wandering route around the layout, this. I saw some Triang big train in action. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it really run for real. I've seen pictures before and I've seen it on video. There's a little bit of a stutter back there, wasn't there, on the Diamond Crossing, just the two drive wheels on here. So we're going to go over the elevated section. So anyway, you'll see in a moment in the footage I've shot the great big Triang train, lovely bold colours. So let's just bring that to a stop there, and we'll do a move away on there. I think it's always interesting to see how they go. I'm not sure whether I covered that in the video. Excuse the squeaking floorboards. I'm not sure I covered that in the video last time. So I'm using the handheld controller again. So let's give that just a little power. Actually, let's just go in a little bit closer. So nice and smoothly away. And again, with this controller, I can really make a considered descent down the elevated section. So if I just stand well back, we'll have a look at that dropping down. So that's one of the things I like about this controller. It gives that ability to give a controlled descent down the elevated section. With the older controllers, most of the models just tended to run away quite terrifically. So we're back onto the inside line now. We pass the refueling tanks. So ideally we're going to end up back in the station in a moment. Let's see if we can have a more elevated view here as she crosses back to the station approach. Trying not to trip over the cables on the floor. And there we go, back into the station. And let's see if we can bring her to a gentle stop, roughly where we started from. And then we'll just have a quick look at that footage from Leicester. So I hope you enjoyed that bit of footage. It really was a great day out, and that's just a sort of snapshot of what the day was like. A terrific amount to see, and as you can see from the trade stands there, a terrific amount to purchase if that was what you're after. And I did come away with a few items. I think Mr Snooze came away with a few items too, but we'll have a look at those, my items, next week. I think we'll devote a whole video to that perhaps. So there we go, we're onto the elevated section now. So I have to admit, I've swapped out the wheels on this one and put a smooth set in. I just pinched them from another diesel rail car, so it quietens things down considerably. Look at that. That lovely purr. And it is quite nice having the ribbed wheels on these, but it does get a little bit difficult to talk over it when you're recording. The noise they make, the iPhone tends to really grab for it and ignore the voice. So there we've got that nice considered descent there. And then back onto level ground. Round the back of the station. Now I think there might be a little bit of a stutter from her as she goes over the diamond crossing. Let's see if we can get ahead of her as she comes up to the diamond crossing. There we go. But I think if we were running at toy train speed, we might sail over those without really noticing they were there. So we're coming around to points 1B, we'll drop back in towards the station. The Flying Scotsman sitting there. And then into the platform there, and we'll just stop that there. So that was a fairly considered run round. I think perhaps what we should do now is switch a few points, and we'll take a back round, but we'll put her in over here. So I just need to switch points 1 and 2 to make that happen. So let's just spin round. We'll try not to do it too quickly, and we'll switch those. And then number 2. So that should put her into that little double-sided set of platforms, perhaps you could call them. So let's give that a bit of power, and perhaps we'll run around at a slightly quicker speed this time. I'm just going to swap hands on the camera and the controller. So let's power this up a little. We'll get a slightly more elevated look, I think. Let's see how we do with the diamond. Not so much of a stutter at that sort of speed. Ooh, losing track with the camera. And we're just going to the bottom of the elevated section now. We'll give that a little bit more power just to help it climb. I'm turning the controller the wrong way, obviously. And we're just going to back that off so it doesn't run away on the way down. See if we can keep up with that on the way down, and we'll come over here and get a nice shot of it coming back across the point work. Under the bridge. And we'll just come up to have a look through the crossover here. And let's take a bit of power off as we approach the station again. And there we go. We'll see if we can stop that before the buffer. And there we go. And I think that's probably it for this week. Thanks again for watching. It's hugely appreciated. And as I said earlier, if you look back next week, we'll look over the items I came away from the show with. Goodbye now.